Okay. So like I said, we're moving into the next unit here, and I prefaced it by saying that it's a little bit more complex, and I just gave you a sort of mini monologue of, again, about the importance of object snaps. It's going to be ever more important in this particular project, and not only are the object snaps going to be more important, but your understanding of three-dimensional space is going to become ever more integral to this actual assignment. But it's an easy assignment. I'm going to just kind of pop open real quick the video of the product that we're trying to create, and then we're going to get started here. So that's not it. This one. Not a great video per se. Well, it's not really scaled in, but essentially we're going to create a box that's tapered. So it's not going to be a regular box. And we're going to create a dynamic pattern across it, essentially. So just to give you a picture of where we're headed. But let's start with the box, okay? So the box really isn't going to be anything special. You can leave it on the default layer. I'm not concerned with layers for this exercise. But let's create a 3D box. I'll start the box command and drop it at the origin. So I activated the box command and I typed 0, 0. This box, I want it to be 30 feet in all directions. So I'll do 30, 30, and 30. And again, you should be working in feet. So if you look down the bottom, just verify that that actually says feet down there at the bottom of your user interface, way down there on the left side. All right, once you've done that, yeah, did you have a question?
Yeah, you would change it in units, so I just type in units and go.
Yeah, or you, I think you can right click it and go to unit settings as well. That'll bring up units. So the first step here is to look at how you can begin to morph the box. And there are a couple of different ways. I already showed you a few. Make sure that you've got the gumball setting turned on because we're doing things a little bit more tactily today. Like we're going to start just kind of grabbing and pulling and rotating by eye for now. It's a little more sculptural. So put the gumball on. And remember, you can hit Control, Shift, and click on an edge to grab it. So you'll have your selection menu. It'll probably give you both of the adjacent surfaces as well as the edge that you clicked on. And then in any of your views that you can actually see the object in, you can grab one of the arrows and pull it out with a left click. So my suggestion to you right now is don't at the current juncture, please don't translate it on a side angle where it's going to create a warped surface for now. So something like that, we do not want a warped surface for this exercise. Everything needs to be planar.
You say control?
Control Shift. Yeah, Control Shift will grab this. And again, no warped surfaces, so we'll have to pull it like this. Only in the orthogonal direction away from its profile. Okay, so what we're going to do here is look at a couple of surfaces that we can push and pull to create an interesting non-warped surface. And so the way that you verify that essentially is in your front and right views, you should be able to see essentially still a box. If you just pull one or two or three of the top edges and begin to kind of shift them out of their original plane, you should be fine at that. What's that? Yeah, we're just shifting. It's pretty tactile, intuitive.
I'm control shifting. I'm getting those arrows on the right side that you want.
You will get arrows on it, yes.
But then I click on that surface, extrusion surface, and then it just disappears.
Don't click on a surface. We want the edge. So control shift, click on the edge, and that's what you should get. If you have an option of picking the surfaces, pick the polysurface edge.
So we have to move face? Okay,
No, not move face. It's the gumball. So when
you do it.
when the gumball is on, hit control shift and click on an edge. Grab the edge and use your arrows to move it back and forth. Like this. Alright, I'll come check and make sure everybody's got it. What you should wind up with is something that's kind of tapered off like this. Alright, so the next step is actually really simple. I mentioned that what we're going to do here is unroll the surface, and that's really all the command is called. It's called unroll surface, and it's incredibly simple. Let's take a look at it. Unroll surface. And I'm going to select that surface. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that, actually. Hold on. So, unroll surface. Just verify that I didn't make a warped surface real quick. All right, I'm good. I think I'm good. You can, right now, there's a couple of settings that you should pay attention to. Explode equals yes. Labels equals no. Don't worry about keep properties necessarily or tolerance. They're a little bit more advanced. But explode equals yes is important because what you'll see is if explode equals yes and I select the box and I hit enter, it's going to take every surface of my box. I'm going to slide this out. No, not blue. I'm going to slide this off of it so you see what kind of where it places it as well. Takes every surface and it flattens it and puts it in the top view. It's very, very similar to Make 2D, except what it does is it takes the perpendicular or exact elevation view of every single surface and doesn't make 2D, but it keeps it as a plane. It just puts it in the top view. Well, yeah, we're getting to the origami part. So, surface, we'll click on that again. And this time I'm going to change explode equals yes to explode equals no. And I hit enter, and now this is what it does. This is the origami version. The origami version here is the foldable profile. So if you've ever done the six-sided cube, or when you see in assignment 1, well, I'm not going to pull it up, it'll take too long. But remember in the assignment 1 PDF, it showed the unfolded version of the orientation of each of these views to each other. That's what this is. Now let me delete that and do this again. Unroll surface. I select that and I turn labels to yes. Now this is what I get. So it's a little bit more significant because now you get the chance to actually understand the orientation of each of these surfaces to each one. In the event that maybe you can't quite discern right off the bat what each of them are right here. Okay, so yeah, there are some other settings for that. I'll have to look those up. Anyway, so this is going to be incredibly useful for us when we actually start to go in and modify this surface. So the coolest thing about this is that we're going to learn how to create patterns across it and then put it back onto the cube in a more sort of automated way. So I'm going to stop the video here and just make sure that you guys can get to a point where you've got this surface down here before we move on to the next segment. Are there any questions? Okay.